wonderful. We got 2 wins in the weekend. Oh, Wellington is wonderful. Welcome everyone to the Black and Yellow podcast. Oh man, what a weekend. Yeah, I'm not joined by Jackson this week. He's still stuck over in Aussie, so I'm joined by the bird brain himself, Kelvin. How you going, bro?
Yeah, how are we, Paddy? How are we? Good to be on, and yeah, fuck, what a weekend. To touch on, it's a bit of a joke anyway. All the boys all weekend have been trying to give me FOMO about not going. I thought, there's other away days, but I think when the club gets 6 points away from home, I said to the boys, it's a joke. I'm not going, so we'll bag 6 points. But fuck, you got to be happy for the boys, and everyone, and the ladies who travelled. It was an awesome weekend by the looks of it. And the support was bloody mint from the Fever. So good on everybody else, who made the effort to get over there as well. It was awesome.
No, I know. No, the numbers, especially I know the women's game heading over to Canberra. They looked loud. They were colourful. They stood out, and then rewarded with 2 goals later that game, and then also with the men's game over in Allianz. But going to Canberra, we were just talking before, flying to Sydney, busing to Canberra,
Yeah.
staying the night or 2 nights, didn't they? They stayed 2 nights in Canberra. Most of the
Yeah, I think. Yeah, so what happened is I think the boys, or most of them, well, the boys, like the Foster boys that I know, they flew in, they were in Sydney because they got in kind of later on, woke up the next day, and then sort of later on, I think they got a bus from somewhere in Sydney Central to Canberra. I think that was about a 4 hour bus or so, and then they stayed in Canberra. I think maybe the Friday and then the game day. Went to the game and then basically went out, did whatever they did, and then woke up the next morning and got, I think it was a train back from Canberra to Sydney. So, bro, they've gone to 2 different states in 2 days. Like it's a fucking effort, man. Like the admin behind it is kudos to them. Let alone the fact after the girls bag an awesome win like that, you've probably had a couple of drinks and you know what I mean. It's yeah, but it's kudos to them, mate, because it's and I think kudos to Ethan as well, and a lot of people who did the admin behind that. Fuck, it was very very well done. And not that anybody does it to get paid, but people don't get paid; they do it for the love of the club. So good on, people like Ethan and those who have sort of stepped up and helped, make the tour possible and organising the packages and everything, because it just made it a lot easier for people, especially with all going on the train and stuff like that. So yeah,
yeah, no, absolutely. The organisation behind it, um, yeah, especially just trying to get everyone on a bus or whatever to Canberra and then train back and stuff like that. I know if it was just a Sydney game or 2 games in Sydney or whatever, it would have been a hell of a lot more easier. But um, there's been a few videos and phone calls to myself. What about you've been keeping in touch? They've been sending probably the same sort of ones.
oh yeah, it's just funny shit, just having a bit of a laugh. Um, Oh, I don't know if the boys. I don't know if you saw that statue. They took a photo outside that statue. Some of the boys were sending us photos,
Of the
and I
owl?
think it's like an
No.
it's like an owl, bro. But on the back side of the owl, it doesn't look like an owl. I don't actually know. I don't know what the statue is called, but if you have a look, it's in Canberra somewhere. It must be fairly close to the ground, more on the way to the ground. But it's an owl on like a wooden perch or like a thing, and it doesn't look like an owl on the backside of it.
Yeah, yeah, I know. But man, what do Phoenix supporters have to do to get acknowledged by the A League? Like we had, you know, heaps of travelling fans from New Zealand or from Wellington, from New Zealand, from some from Auckland, come fly over to Sydney. They did the 2 games, and then we've had some of the guys from Melbourne come up. People that are staying in Sydney went over. I think Perth supporters came over as well. Um,
Yeah.
and you know, you don't see it posted at all. You see the Cove. Obviously, the Cove looked good first time back at Allianz and stuff like that. But man, we deserve a lot more credit.
Yeah, I think you don't want to sound almost petty about it, but it's kind of it gets a little bit annoying when I guess you have like a tour of duty almost, so it's not just a standard away travelling, I guess, section. Like it's, and I'm not saying the A League have to know about it, but it was, it was the Fever Tour, the tour of duty, and I feel like whenever you see like, for example, one that sticks out to me is, and they have massive numbers to be fair, like massive numbers, but the RBB coming from Western Sydney and they play Melbourne at Amy, and they always highlight that. They always highlight that away end, and like that travelling support. But I think the other thing that really deserves credit is because I was saying to a few of the boys, we're just chatting about it. I can't think of another club that has the same active for their women's side as their men. Like not
Yeah,
that
definitely.
not that there's an expectation or anything like that, but I think the Fever are awesome at supporting the women's side just as well as the men. Like the fact that everyone who went put in the effort and went to the women and the men's is a massive credit, and I think it's awesome that I touched online about it. That I think we've got the best women's supporters group. We've got the best supporters in the women's league, hands down. Like
Yeah,
the fact
I
that
agree.
everybody's equally supporting our female side and our men's side is awesome. Like I think it's awesome that people are willing to support the club generally. I think it's a really good look, and I also think it sort of deserves credit as well. I
Yeah,
think
definitely.
it's a really positive thing for the A League in general and the Women's League. Um, I think it's a really good thing, and I think like the side love it, eh? Like especially you can see, after one of the games at Porirua, Bev actually came up off the field afterwards and said, thank you, Merry Christmas to you guys. And I'm like, that's just awesome. The fact that, simple gesture, come up and say thank you and show that appreciation. And after the game at Canberra, the whole women's side, I mean, as you do with your travelling supporters, went over, took a photo. I think it was Bev, maybe, actually got on the drum and started joining in with all which is awesome, eh? It just shows that the women's side actually really appreciate it, which is cool.
Yeah, that like I mean, I haven't been to a women's game yet, but I've watched all of them this season, bar the one on the weekend just gone. As bad as it sounds, but like the whole state, and I like it how now you can actually see the crowd with the new camera angle we've got now at Porirua
Oh,
Park.
Potato. Yeah, 100%, yeah.
Yeah, and it just shows, and you could just see, you can see the fever, but you can also see the whole crowd. Everyone's all there in yellow. It looks awesome, and they, bar a couple of poor performances, especially their one last weekend, but like they're looking really good as well. And but dealing with the this the constant injuries and stuff like that. You're building a squad, and then all of a sudden you lost what they've lost three to an ACL.
Yeah, so don't quote me. Samba's out from an ACL. Um, Medag was out
Madag,
very
yep.
early on with an ACL. And
Alyssa Winham.
I thought because Alyssa Winham was ACL, wasn't she? Yeah, so it's unfortunate. I don't know the reasonings why, but obviously that's a pretty, discussed topic in women's football is why are they more prone to ACLs specifically, or there's, why it just, I can understand it, it's like, why is it happening so much more in women's sport? And it's, um, it's not nice to see because, like, it, you want these players to be able to put in a shift and it's their career, right? It's a massive thing when you have an injury like that, you can't play, for pretty much a year or an entire
Mm,
season. And I think Marissa Vandermeer, I can't remember, she's done two ACLs,
yeah,
which is like, man, you just got no luck at that point, eh? But yeah, it's a tricky one. I think losing Samba is a massive loss, but I think that's what makes sort of that win in Canberra even more impressive. As we've lost sort of our um, I guess your focal point in front of goal, but the girl still put in an awesome shift, and other players stepped up as well. Like Benson, comes on late on, ball falls to her, stabs it in at the back post, and then Pia Vlock scores like an unreal goal to sort of seal it. So yeah, it's good. It shows we've got depth, which is pretty important.
Yeah, just on the ACL thing, there was I forget the name. Someone someone that follows the podcast page or something, like I maybe follow it on TikTok. I'm not too sure. I think she's a young up and coming Phoenix player, not maybe an age grade player or something. It's a woman, it's a female, and she's been posting her ACL recovery.
Oh,
Seems
right.
pretty young, very young, but man, that's one thing. I've been I'm not gonna say I'm not a professional sportsman, but I've done my ACL and gone through that sort of recovery and stuff like that. It's frustrating. It's frustrating, but then ACLs they're meant to be, once you had them done, if they're done properly, they're meant to be stronger than what they were before.
I guess yeah, that's the thing. It's just, hopefully, once they go through the right systems and get the right care, which they obviously will through the club, and through whatever other avenues, they'll come back better. And that's the thing, is just obviously it can be, it can play on your mind a bit. If you have a massive injury like that, it can affect a lot of players, and you sort of hope that players don't drop confidence and that side of thing. But it's just one of those things. You keep your head in the right place. If you have the right support networks, then you'll be sweet, and most of them will come back stronger, which is good to see.
Mm, Anyway, talk about that the women's game against Canberra United. Um, a game where I didn't watch it, but just on what I heard, it was a game that we couldn't quite grind them down as I guess as quick as we wanted to. Really, like they got a red card just before half time. Was it just before half time?
Yeah, so I'm going to be honest, I watched it sort of in ebbs and flows. I was pretty much double screening the footy, so I was watching the AFC Pro League, the South Island United game against Auckland,
Yeah.
and I was sort of watching it back and forth, trying to keep an eye on both games. Um, I think one of them, yeah, I can't recall exactly, but I think basically the second yellow was, I don't know if it was the first or second.
Oh,
One of them was in Woods was breaking through, and she basically went to stop the play and basically cut her short effectively, and it was definitely a second yellow. Like, it's a yellow anyway, but sometimes it's a bit contentious as to whether you're going to give a yellow because it's a second, meaning it's a
yeah,
red. But
yeah,
I think it definitely was. I think I watched the majority of the sort of second half. I think it sort of ebbed and flowed a bit. Um, but like I was touching sort of on it with you earlier, is felt like it was going to get to a point where where they were going to tire, like Canberra were actually going to sort of run out of gas, and that's pretty much exactly what happened. Where Benson, that's just a poacher's goal. That's where, so you want to be in that position, and if something falls to you, you want to be there to capitalise on it, and that's why Canberra player down for that whole half. You've got that extra yard on them because you haven't been covering as much, pitch. So
yeah. So that was in the 86th minute where Zoe Benson scored. I guess also it would have been shirts off instantly for the Fever.
yeah, yeah, I've seen some touching base on videos. I don't actually know who captured it. It was somebody on the sort of the embankment of this things. It's so funny, eh? Like, it's just cool. Like, you see all the boys going nuts. You see like Longy, like Ben, Jackson, Ethan, and everyone's just like whipping their shirts around, like going nuts. Eh? It was so funny. Like, and watching it on live coverage, you see the goal go in, and just hear everybody in that little area just going nuts. It's cool, eh?
It's well, that was just the starting point of pretty much of the weekend, really, and wasn't it for the both games? But and then Pia Vlock, she was on the bench for this game. I saw in the starting team, but she comes on and basically candidate for goal of the week, really.
Yeah, well, when she got the ball, I think we're sort of thinking, sort of have a go because the keeper went up. And then I thought, where she was placed, I thought, shit, that's quite far out.
Yeah,
Like she's going to have to
yeah,
have to hit that pretty well. put it just about where you'd want it, pretty much exactly where you wanted to hit that, and that's exactly why it's gone in. I think if she hits that any shorter, I think the keeper either tips that over or definitely gets something to it. So, yeah.
Awesome. No, awesome result. Yeah, and good to see the scenes after the game where the ladies went up to the supporters and, like you said, they were banging the drum and dancing with the Fever and stuff like that. And see a few photos of some of the supporters getting photos with the team. So it's good. It's good to get you know, especially travelling that far and get acknowledged by the players like that. It's good.
Yeah, I think that's the key thing, is it's a very small gesture, and I know, like we go and you don't want to say like you expect it, but it's appreciated. Like when you go all that way, you spend all that money and time, and the players come over and say thank you, and even just take a moment to have a chat or just show a sign of appreciation. It means a lot to people.
Yeah.
And especially after a tough result, it's probably the bigger one.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy for you to sort of. I mean, I'm not a player, right? But I could imagine if you lose and then you're trying to go back in the changing rooms and avoid everything, then you kind of just want to get off the field. You don't want to deal with the fans, and you just kind of can't be bothered, or you just want to sort of go in the changing room and just forget about it. But it's a simple gesture, but it actually means a lot more than maybe sometimes the players realise.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'll be looking forward to doing one of those away trips one day. Got massive FOMO. I gutted. I couldn't go, and I think you're the same too.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about it and I was like, because I've done one. Obviously, it wasn't like a tour, and like two
You
games,
did
but I
the
did
yeah.
Melbourne, which was awesome. Mate. That was so much fun. Um, but I think, I don't know. I don't know if I will. I'm potentially thinking of doing um, Melbourne this year. I think it's maybe Easter weekend, over April. So I'm just trying to work out whether it's viable, and who's going to go. Like, I don't know. I've just been chatting to a couple of the boys who were looking at going, but it's just a matter, one of those things of working out whether the times are going to work, and it's just fortunate that it's an Easter weekend. I think it's Easter weekend, so you can sort of work at either side. But it's still a Sunday game. So you've got the Monday off, but it's a Sunday, so you still got to go back the day after. But yeah, so, but no, it's just awesome, mate. It's one of those things like you just got to be happy for everybody who went. Because, like pretty much everybody who went everyone's sort of on the same boat. If that probably sounds a bit weird, is everyone's been supporting the club for a very long time, and it's a lot of commitment. And a lot of those guys who went, I've known um, since I was a young fella, and since I wasn't able to, when I was not old enough to even travel overseas, let alone afford to go and do that sort of thing. When you're like, young fella, and it's just cool to see everybody who's sort of around that stage as well, actually getting the opportunity to go and support the boys overseas. Like, it's one of those childhood things. You want to do it. You want to go travel away around the world watching your club. We can only do that to Australia, but it's still, it's awesome to see everyone's still got the passion they had, from when they were younger, and they've carried it on, and now they're, sharing it with other people. It's cool.
Yeah. No, awesome. It's been ages since you've been on the pod. What have you been up to, mate? How was the Chatham Island bloody trip?
Oh, that was nuts, hey. Well, I guess, to be fair, quite a few other people who watch will probably know of it because I know a lot of people personally. But that was random, eh? Like, I got a message on, I think it was Instagram, like social media, and I thought, I was at work one day and I thought, nah, this is a load of shit. Like, it just looked really like suspicious as well. Pretty much won because people probably don't know, I won it was a 4-day trip to the Chathams, so it was valued at like 12 grand. So it was, yeah, it was pretty unexpected, but it was basically flights, accommodation, breakfast, lunch, dinner every day. You had complimentary alcohol with like your dinner, so like 4 or 5 bottles of wine every night. There was me, my partner, and two other groups of 2 people that went. So it was like tag a friend that tag somebody that you take with you, and they'll pick 3 winners. So yeah, I kind of thought it was bullshit. And you get to the airport, you're like, oh, this person's actually here. You're actually right. So it's pretty cool though. Like it was to see 660. So we didn't realize when we were over there. We thought, oh yeah, like we'll be on a, we had a tour of the island for 3 days. We thought, oh yeah, we'll just be on a bus. And we get to the airport. We're on the same flight as the band. We were on the same bus as the band. Like the entire time, we're getting toured around the islands. And then what was pretty cool as well is we were dropping them off at their place. They're staying at quite a nice place on the island, and then they invited us to go. We basically just sitting there having a couple of drinks with them and having a chat, and then they just played their full album that they haven't released yet to us, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, nice.
I guess when you're sort of sitting there, you don't really think about it, but you look back on it and you're like, "Fuck, that was pretty nuts."
Yeah. Are you a fan of 660?
Yeah, I've been to quite a few gigs. Yeah, so that was actually the
Yeah.
first time I'd been to a gig in a wee while for how often I go. So, like they did a tour around New Zealand, but it was real small places, and I was just saying, oh, just leave it. So I hadn't been for like maybe 2 years or something to a gig. So
I'm actually not a fan of 660. Hey, I don't know.
really,
It
I
just
feel
seems a
like
bit.
people either like them or they just don't.
I think it's just like with New Zealand bands, it's like you're almost forced to like them, and it's just like, nah, fuck that. I actually don't like them.
They understand it.
Not one.
Half the problem is, and I listen to their music, but like they like, and it doesn't mean you don't like them, but they're just way too overplayed. Like they're always on the radio, and I think
I think that's
it's
why I don't
just
like
one of
them,
those.
bro.
It's like, so I'm just pouring a drink. Um, I think that's what sort of drives people away is if something's sort of put on you all the time, you get sick of it. It's like I can't even think of another example off the top of my head. Like that is it Dance Monkey? Do you know that song Dance Monkey?
Yeah, Tones and I.
And it's like you don't dislike a song, but everyone got sick of that song and just was just over it, and they were like, "I hate this song because it's just overplayed." You don't hate the song for the song. You just it just shit gets overplayed, and you get sick of it.
Yeah. All right, let's move to the men's game. Uh, a 2-0 win against Sydney. A game that I was actually quite confident going into, I must add. Like, not normally I'm not very confident going into games, but I don't know. But they were, one of the top teams in the comp, and I thought we got a good chance here of rolling them, especially for our fans that went over. Yeah, a game where we had to fucking soak some pressure up, man. I thought they were pressing hard. So Sydney were anyway. Sydney were pressing hard, putting us under heaps of pressure. But not only that, they were fucking looking pretty sharp with the ball as well. And I thought this was just going to be a matter of time here. And you almost like every game this year has either been us or the opposition scoring in the first 10 minutes of the game. Um, and yeah, there was no score for ages. I think Carlo scored in the 29th minute, which I was watching it with Andy, and he made the call and said there's going to be no goals in this half. And as soon as he was lining up for the free kick as well, he put the message out, no goals in this half, and then fucking bang, takes the
That's
deflection
good,
off the
brain
wall.
Andy. If Andy was in the Fever or he was with us, or with the boys, that would have been Bird Brain.
The only thing is,
There's
is
not
that
going to be any
he
goals.
refuses to wear it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was bird brain at the Auckland game. Oh, you went there. We we went back to the bar after, right? The Right Track Sports Bar, and the owner came out and he shouted us like a big tray of tequila shots, right? And it's like I almost fucking said to him, like, mate, read the room, mate. We're a fireball team. Go back, take those tequilas back and give us some fireball. Nah. But everyone all had shots. I didn't have any. I was driving. But Andy goes to me. He goes, "Fuck, that's the owner of the Phoenix." And I'm like, "That's fucking not, bro." And he's like, "Yes, it is. Fuck, I heard someone say he's the owner." I was just like, "Nah, bro. He's not the owner of the. He's the owner of the bar." And he goes, "Yeah, he owns the Phoenix as well." And I was like, said to Jax, I said, "Bro, he's not the fucking owner of the Phoenix, eh? And they're like, no, no. And everyone's like, nah, bird brain. And he refused to wear it. He's like, nah, that thing stinks. I'm not fucking wearing that.
To be fair,
But
it
yeah,
has been washed. Like, it does get washed. Thankfully,
yeah,
otherwise I
yeah.
think it would
The
be
reason why
rotten through.
he said it stinks because he chucked it on at the Wrexham game, and I think that had been through a few heads at that particular time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, anyway, yeah, so Carlo gets the goal for free kick. I was watching a bit of the OFC, and there was a lot of goals off free kicks. Kind of wasn't really,
Yeah,
I was kind of expecting it
yeah.
in a way. Fuck, he's got a good left foot on him.
Yeah, yeah. He's got a pistol in his boot, man. It's fuck.
Just from
Like,
anywhere
his
as
left
well.
foot is. I think that's the thing that sort of. I don't understand it. Like, that's why I hate seeing him play as like a wingback or like playing it like a
Yeah.
fullback that bombs forward. I hate it. I hate like somebody who's like that good going forward and has that sort of capability with like shooting. Bro, put them up top as an attacking option. Don't play them as a wingback.
Mm.
But I think yeah, it's obviously it was a. It's hard to know whether it would have gone in if there was a huge deflection.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you see the ball go up and you're like you don't know and you're like, oh shit, is the keeper going to get there? Is it going to go wide? And then I think Devonish Mears just completely wrong footed and it hits the back of the net. And then obviously, um, Carlo ran over to like Italiano and I don't know. I guess you never know. I thought he might have run over to the fans because it was down that end, but. I mean, it's heat of the moment, right? You do whatever you feel like you want to do. So,
yeah. Nah, it was good, and then I suppose kind of just before half time, fucking a league, almost definitely a reach. Like at first, obviously during normal play, you just thought it was just a normal foul. But
yeah, it looked just like he stopped him. It looked like a yellow, but nothing more.
yeah, 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 and then fuck that replay, man. Like Nazarin, he's lucky to still be fucking able to walk. Almost folded his ankle
Yeah,
in
like
half.
when you actually watch it, and I was like, I was watching it with some other mates because obviously everyone was over and at the game, and I thought, fuck, man, like that could have genuinely snapped it. Like he genuinely could have been out for the season if that had hit the right
Yeah,
spot. If just luck of the
yeah.
draw as well. Like if he'd say dug that, if he'd planted that foot, he could have snapped his ankle. Like you
Mm.
genuinely could have been out
It,
for
it
like he could
was
have
it was
broken his
it
leg.
was so reckless, but it didn't like it was quite hard to see, but it actually did hit the knee first, and then like fucking slid down pretty quick to the ankle to stomp on his ankle. But nah, definitely deserved a red card, and I don't know, man. Like I I thought we were still looking pretty good. I wouldn't say that the red card, um, in my opinion anyway, was the deciding factor in that game. Um, it definitely helped it in our favour, but I'm liking the way we play at the moment, especially being 1-0 up. I don't know. Have we lost a lead this year? We haven't, have we?
Um, it's probably quite hard to lose a lead if you don't often take the lead. um,
Well,
I'm
that's
just
right.
trying to think. Um, oh shit, this is probably just me having an absolute blank. I'm
Nah,
trying
I
to
don't
think
think I
of
don't.
games.
I think we have lost. Had a draw. I think, but another thing that I don't think that's happened this season is fucking. I'm sure I'm going to find out about it because everyone lets me know my mistakes I make on the spot. Uh, but I don't think anyone has scored besides obviously the women, but anyone has scored against a team with a red card this year.
I was going to say no, we have, but I was like, no, we got the red card against Brisbane. Carlo
Yeah,
got
we
red
got
carded,
we got the red
and
card
we
against
actually managed to
Brisbane.
come back and score two
Yeah,
goals. I'm just trying to think.
Auckland had two against us, and we couldn't score against them. We got one against Auckland. Auckland couldn't score against them. There might be some other fucking game. But anyway, who cares? we managed to. I was off another free kick, that pretty
Yes,
much,
it was. Yeah.
yeah, went in the mixer, came out. Rufer found himself, and you know what? Like my opinion is that Rufer's going to fucking send this, like he always
Yeah,
does.
I thought he was going to fucking rifle it over the bar.
Yeah, but he kept pretty composed. Put it onto his left foot, which we saw earlier on in the game, him shooting off his left foot and absolutely had a mare. Lobbed it up, and old Isaac Hughes, who had an outstanding game 2 weeks in a row now, and another outstanding game, headed it in, and then, yeah, 2-0. Fuck it, how good.
Yeah, fuck, that was such a good goal. I think the fact is, I don't know whether it's just Phoenix fans being Phoenix fans, but we're all sitting there going, "Oh fuck, he's going to have a shot. This is probably going to go straight at somebody and get blocked, or it's going to get rifled over the bar."
Yeah.
But he actually like fully composed himself, swept it onto his other foot, and then puts a like perfect ball in for Isaac, and Isaac just are completely unmarked. I'm like,
Yeah.
the marking's questionable, really, but the fact that
Yeah.
he's got himself in that position, perfect space with nobody on him, and it's a great header as well. And I think it's just yeah, that's what sort of really sealed it, because you sat there thinking, oh, Sydney could snatch one. If you're 1-0 up, even though you've got a player advantage, you're still pretty. Sometimes it can be trickier because teams will sit back, and then it's they're a bit more defensive than they normally would be anyway. So you kind of, and then you panic because there's an expectation to score and win. But no, I think it was a fucking very good result, and I think looking at
Yeah.
it now to touch on it. I don't mean I don't. You don't want to sound like you're looking too far ahead, right? But we're 6 points off top, man. And I know
I
we've got
know.
some tough things, but
A League's absolutely crazy this year, man.
that's
It's
the
just
thing. Like it's really hard to get a proper judgment on this season as well because not to say negative, but if you look at it for results, we haven't had like a great season. But because the rest of the league, nobody's really capitalizing on other teams dropping points.
no, that's right.
Everyone's sort of in the mix. So like if we beat Newcastle, which is going to be a very, very tough game away from home against them, I think we're on 18 points. We would win and go to 21. Other teams are on 21 at the moment, but obviously that's down to them. Those other teams above Newcastle who we play, not necessarily winning. And I think Newcastle have a better goal difference. So, but it's just crazy. They're like you look at our season, you think we haven't had a very good season, but the last month I heard as well, not just because it's Auckland I'm mentioning it, but they were touching base. I think the commentary team was saying that we've actually claimed more points in the last month than Auckland have, and that was before our game as well against Sydney. It just shows you how much difference that sort of period can make. And obviously you don't want to look back and dwell on things, but it makes you think. When we played Adelaide the other week and we had that chance where Rufa put it over the bar, if we had won that, we'd be potentially third, 3 points off top. But it's what you can't look at it like that, because
Nah,
otherwise you
nah.
do that all the time. But it just makes you look back and realise that we've actually got players coming back. We've got Tuiloma coming in now. We've made his debut. You've got Miliusnic, who's back now. It's just, and as things start to click, you don't want to go too far ahead, but you think, shit, we haven't had a great season so far, and where we are now. So if we really kicked on, there's a possibility to do something, but you want to stay grounded because you don't want to don't want to get ahead of
We're,
yourself.
we're Phoenix fans, mate. We always stay grounded. Our expectations are always low. But we last season we had 6 wins, right? The whole season. We're on 5 this season. But yeah, it's still a long way to go. Still yeah, but like the squad's looking good. A few players still out injured. Dan Edwards, I was a big fan of Dan Edwards. He's been injured and hasn't played in a few weeks. There's still guys like him. But like you got Bill coming in. You possibly have our new signing coming in maybe this week. I don't know. Probably not. It'll probably be the week after. Um, old Sandor Eric. Probably pronounced that wrong.
I'm trying to remember. It's Sander Carton, I think. Just looking at it, sorry to touch on something differently.
No,
We
I think
played
it's like
13 games.
it's like Sander Eric something.
Not too sure. I thought it was
Yeah.
Sander Carton. Yeah. Um, looking at this, so pretty much everyone's played. Well, actually, we've played 13 games and we're on 18 points. So what's that? Um, maths. I mean, if you go, I can't be bothered doing the maths, but 13 times 3 is, what's that? 39, unless I've done that wrong. So we've got
I don't know,
18
bro.
points.
I use a calculator for everything, man.
This is quite funny. Hang on, let me work this out. Yeah, 39. So we've got 18 points from a possible 39. So
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
under half of the points we could have taken, But I mean, it is what it is, right? It's one of those things. If you looked at every you got to look at season respectively. Maybe there's a reason the league's so tight, and the reason we're actually doing well because everyone's so tough to beat this year, and it's everyone's a lot stronger. Yeah, it depends how you look at it.
yeah. And week in week out, teams are looking different. Brisbane are actually losing players as well. They, uh, yeah, it's like teams are losing players, but now it's a new. Everyone's got all new signings coming in now. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know, man. I just love watching the Knicks no matter what. I mean, obviously it's great when they win. That weekend was probably one of the best weekends ever,
The
getting
Wrexham
the
week
six
this
points.
weekend. Oh yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, we got Newcastle next week who are flying. They shit start to the season. Now they're sitting third, I think.
yeah. I think besides us, I would say probably Newcastle are the form side on the comp. And the only reason I say us is because I mean we beat Sydney, we drew to Adelaide, we beat Brisbane, and who'd we play before Brisbane? This is showing me my memory.
Oh, that was the
I
Melbourne
can't
game.
remember. But yeah, but since then we've sort of taken a turning point, and I think Newcastle are just. I thought they might be a bit hot and cold, like they had some results and then they lost, blah blah blah. But no, I think their attack. They've got a very good attack as well, and they've got Zach Clough now. I don't even know if he played against the Wanderers. I didn't even take notice. I just saw that they won. But yeah, I think if we can, looking forward to it, I guess on Friday. I think if we can get a result, like if we can get a win, that's a huge result. I think like morale, keeping the run going, and to get 2 wins away from home is huge. I think even a draw is a very very good result on the scheme of things. But it'll be really interesting to see how now that he's played or made his debut, how they slot Bill into the team, whether they bring him
Yeah, I was just
straight
going to
in,
ask
whether
you.
he's
I was
match
going to
fit
ask you that.
or. But that'll be interesting because you look at the side, and I think the way we've played recently, or against Sydney, we were, like I'm trying to think who you'd really sort of take out. Like I think on that note as well of the game, Isaac Hughes I thought played very well, but I thought Roofs played well. I thought Mandrika was like he played really well, man. I thought he had a very very good game. Uh, Almost got concussed. That shot
Oh,
towards
bro.
goal. I don't think he knew much about it, and he was just woof. Yeah,
Fucking
but I
square
thought
to
I
the
thought he played
face,
really
mate.
well. Hmm.
Yeah. I just had because Bill and I don't know positions very well, but I got a feeling that Bill and Tim Payne play basically the same position, don't they? That sort of right side back.
Bill is a,
Is
a
Bill?
centre
Is
half.
Bill?
He's not
He has
centre
seen
half. I
it.
guess Tim
Okay.
Payne can play centre back, but he's been playing on the right. Um,
I
I'm
just
trying to
for the All
remember.
Whites, I just see him playing on that same sort of side, and it's kind of like they either play him or Tim Payne.
Yeah, I was going to say I was just having a quick look. Bill. I was thinking Bill's a centre back CDM, but I guess centre backs can step into a CDM role anyway.
Yeah, he
Um,
played centre back in the weekend. They moved Mandraker over. Did you notice
But yeah,
that?
he played well. I think I guess like at the start of the season, you're like, oh, well, I think little bit of doubt on him. Not that you want to doubt players, but I think we're a little bit, like, oh man, like not the greatest game. But I think he's really turned a corner. Like he's strong, man. Like he's just very good at certain positions, getting himself between the ball and the man, and just sort of like basic stuff like somebody's taken a shot, taken a deflection, or somebody's gone to feed a ball through behind, and you're just in between the man and the ball and shepherding the ball out, and just that sort of stuff. Is he's quite good at doing that, which obviously you
Yeah,
have to do as a defender anyway. But it's just
yeah.
good to see that players have got that strength and awareness to sort of get themselves in the way and win the ball.
Because he's got the shortest shorts in the league, I think.
We all noticed that. We're like, I don't know whether he's just got massive legs, which he's tall anyway, or whether he's just got he tucks his shorts up, or whether he's got short shorts. So I'm like,
He
I
borrows
don't
the
know.
woman's kit, bro. That's what it is. He's got
It's
the
like
woman's kit.
stubbies. It's like blokes who wear stubbies and they have them really short, like those Canterbury stubbies.
Yeah, man. That's what I do. I'm a builder, so stubbies all
I
day, every
guess he
day.
probably want a pair of stubbies with a singlet. Isn't that what tradies wear? They just wear a generic spate singlet or something,
Pretty much.
or a,
Pretty much.
or a Tilly
But I
Brewery
think it might
singlet
be
or
an
whatever.
yeah. I think it might be an American thing. Because Woods, she's similar as well with her sort of get up as well. But yeah, it's good. But like, do we move Tim Payne into more of an attacking sort of a role? And I know he is, and drop and move Piper out and give him that impact coming off the bench like he had done at the start of the season.
It's a hard one. I've thought about that. I'm like, because he did quite
Piper
well.
actually played well. He's working hard, putting their defenders under a bit of pressure. Going from fucking man to man, wherever following the ball and just fucking going hard. And he's been doing
Like
that the whole game too.
there was that instance on against Sydney. Yesterday. I get confused. Long weekend. Um, and he just absolutely burnt his man. I think it might have been
Oh, bro, he had some
um,
pace, man. I put it. I
like
put it up
burnt
in
him,
the
and I'm
group
like,
chat. I said,
fuck.
Corbin Piper, I'm taking him on in the race.
Yeah, I saw that you're like, I want to race Corbin Piper. Not that I think Corbin watches the podcast. You never know. Corbin, Paddy wants to challenge you to a race next time. Paddy's in Wellington. Paddy's down here. We got to get you and you and Paddy having a race, 100 meter sprint race, and we'll see who wins.
Nah,
If
bro,
Paddy wins, you get it.
60 meters.
60 meters. All right, 60
I can't
meters then.
fucking do
And
100 anymore, man.
if Paddy wins, you got to give him a carton of your eggs.
Yeah, man, they're not cheap. Um, but yeah, there was a few moments where Corbin made a few sort of bad decisions in the attacking. You saw when he had I think he had three players that were unmarked, and I think he decided to have a shot or something, and fucking, but they were filthy at him. I think Tim Payne, Najarine, and Eze were just fucking going off.
I guess it's one of those things. Yeah, I mean, I can't remember that specifically, but it's one of those things that's an awareness thing. Like, obviously, sometimes you just have that moment where you're like, something opens up and you're like, shit, I'm going to have a go, and it just doesn't go how you sort of plan. And it's one of those things. If you decide not to pass your outside man or feed somebody through, and you score a rocket, then they don't give a shit because you've scored. But then if you
Yeah,
don't, then players are always going to be like,
yeah,
oh, like sort of throw their hands up. But I guess it's one of those awareness things. Corbin was, a centre half or a defensive player being transitioned into somebody playing up top. So it's one of those things. Maybe it was just a rash moment. Maybe
yeah,
with
yeah,
time, his
yeah,
awareness will develop. Like not everybody's gonna sort of, pick that out straight away. Or yeah, it's hard to know. But
yeah. Another person similar is Sheridan as well. Been more of a defensive player. He's been playing a bit more sort of. I guess he's having his opportunities up in the attack sort of zone and stuff like that, and just a few. He's getting better. Like there was a few moments at the start of the season where his decision making coming into on attack and what to do, whether to have a shot or do a pass or who to pass to. It's just gotten so much more better. So probably another one of those things as well. The more he plays up there, the more he, sorry, excuse me, more he becomes aware.
That's the thing, eh? It's like the whole. I guess the prime example, well, the main example is we got a lot of young players, and people like we want to give
Mm,
them a chance. They're only going to get better as they sort of play more. But I think prime example of that is the Brisbane game. Like obviously it was Brisbane were just trying to sort of get a consolation goal really. Uh, Luke picks up the ball,
mm,
nutmegs his man, goes through and then squares it to Paolo, and it's like that's just the more players play and the more exposure they get to A League football, especially the young players, they're just going to pick that up. And like that's what I
mm.
think was so impressive to touch on that is Luke hasn't played a massive amount of football, but the nous to take his man on, beat his man, and the composure instead of having a shot, which he very easily could have done at 2 0
Yeah,
up, he's got more license to. He's just squared it to Paolo and we've sealed the game off. Like he could have had a shot because at 2 0 up with a red card, I mean, sorry, 2 0 up at that stage of the game,
mm,
you know what I mean? You're
yeah,
more likely to take a shot. If it's 2-1 and we're in that same position and he shoots, he's going to get, and he doesn't score, he's going to get. Yeah, it's just awareness. It's one of those things, and that's why it takes time. Players gain experience, and I think that's why some of the players from last year, think like Chiefy did touch on, it's a learning curve. Those
mm,
mistakes, all those things from last year, they're going to be better for it, and you can tell. Like some of the players that were in those scenarios last season, there's a difference between last year and now. So
yeah, yeah, definitely. And our boy Amon, another clean sheet for him.
he
What's
played
your
well,
thoughts on
man.
his
He,
performances?
he played well. I think in the first few games, I thought, he wasn't. I mean, but he's fresh, right? He got thrown in when Josh got injured, so um, it's hard to say because you don't want to be too critical because he hasn't been playing much first team football at all. I think the first game he probably could have done a little bit better with pairing the shot. He's done pretty well. I think he had a really good game yesterday. I think he did everything that you'd expect, and he's not afraid to get out and like sort of command the box as well, like set pieces and corners. He's just he doesn't. There's no hesitance or no hesitancy to go out and get rid of the ball, which is good. So
Mm. Yeah, he did hesitate a little bit when he got fucking almost got cleaned up there, took a shot to the ribs, got winded. There was a moment there where he
yes,
fucking just second guessed. He stuttered a little bit, but made the right decision in the end and put fucking body on the line, man.
yeah, it's that's pretty brave, eh? Like you look and like he didn't have to. You say he didn't have to. He's got no fear, and that's kind of what you want from a goalkeeper. Is you just want them to go through and you know just protect the ball, protect the box, protect their goal, I should say.
It's a long weekend for me up here. It won't be a long weekend for you down there, is it? Coming up.
No, it is. Yeah, yeah. So we've had. I don't even know with the holidays. I don't
You
even know
just
if
had a
it's
long
long.
weekend. Yeah, you just had a long weekend.
Yeah, yeah.
We've got one this weekend coming. Um, so uh, the the Waheniks they've got Adelaide United on Sunday, Jan 25th, 4 p.m. Is at Porirua Park? How good?
Yes, yeah, yeah. That's against sorry, I wasn't fucking completely blanked.
Adelaide.
Adelaide, I think. Adelaide, yeah.
Yeah.
We should get a result. We'd hope we'd get a result. I think we should really get a good crowd. I would hope for a good crowd. I don't know.
I think it'll be a good crowd, bro, because the men are playing overseas as well, overseas, and everyone will be wanting to watch live football. So
Well, that's the thing, right? You've got that one bit of live sport, live football for the weekend, and I think after the last result,
yeah,
it's hard to know because I don't actually know what the capacity is. I was just saying to a few people is you've obviously got the embankment at Porirua, so it's you'd say you want to get a sellout, but it's kind of hard to judge how close you are because it depends on what ticket sales they'll allocate for the bank. So obviously we could sell out the stands, but I don't know how many people they would judge they can fit on that bank behind the goal. So maybe if they say we could get 100 people, then if we could sell that out, that'd be awesome. But it's hard to know. I think the girls are definitely building something, and that was a massive result that even to the neutral, if you sort of see that we beat top of the league away from home and we scored like Pia's goal was awesome. So that stuff like that to a neutral is what's going to draw them in.
Yeah. And the men, they're playing on Friday night in Newcastle. Few of the lads are staying over and watching the Newcastle game. I heard Newcastle is actually a good away trip, so that'll be another awesome one. But Newcastle riding pretty hot at the moment, so she's not easy.
No, it's kind of a good thing in a way. Like it's a good test. You really like it's one of those cliche. If you want to go on and make finals and finish higher up and challenge for things, you wanna have those tests and you wanna get a result. And I think we're kind of hitting form at the right time. So it's sort of if we'd gone into this Newcastle game off the back of the victory game where we got a hiding, I'd be like, oh, fuck, like we're gonna get pumped. Well, I'm not very positive about it, but I think the way we've sort of
You're not very
into
positive
form,
anyway, Bruce.
it's a lot more. There's a lot more optimism about the game and going forward.
Yeah, yeah. Um, all right, bro. Thanks for jumping on, Kelvin.
No stress, no stress.
Yeah, I think you're keen to jump on a bit more often, so I need to sort bloody Jackson's
Yeah,
internet out.
I was gonna say I think my internet's playing up a little bit. It's not doing. Oh, I think it's sorted itself now. Yeah. Keen to jump on a bit more. Obviously, last time when I between Jackson jumping in and stuff, I think I just got real busy, and it's just not that it's a massive commitment, but finding time to do it was a bit tricky with work
Yeah,
commitments and just life in general. So
yeah,
now that I'm a bit more free, I'm definitely keen to jump on and not take Jackson's spot at all. But even if we can get me, you, and Jackson on or whatever, we'll work it out, whoever, and that's if listeners actually want me on. I'm sure the boys
they
will joke
they
that they
still
don't
they
want to
still
listen
want
to me,
Andy
but
on. They still want Andy on, but no, that ship sailed with Andy. I think he'll jump on every now and then. I had a word with him last night. He said, "Oh, if you ever get stuck, he'll jump on." But it is. I mean, this is a bit of a commitment. Well, for me anyway.
I say more
So
so for you, yeah.
yeah, yeah. But hey, man, this is me. This is me. This is my sort of ties to the club, really. I'm stuck all the way up here in Auckland, and this is what I get to do to show my sort of support. Um, get fucking legend fans on like yourself, and find out their sort of story and how they become the Nick supporters, and fucking talk about the game and talk some shit.
I think we're pretty good at talking shit, aren't we, all of us? That's
Definitely,
what we're all
definitely.
experts at. If it's a matter of talking shit, we're all pretty good at that. But nah, it's good. It's good to have a different avenue, like I touched on ages ago in the first podcast, is that I was on. It's just good to have an avenue for people to have a chat and sort of get it out there. Like it gives people an option to have a discussion. Because for most of us, it's you go to the games, you go have a drink or two, or have some food at the pub beforehand and post game, and that's where you talk about the footy. And you've kind of and then you got your fan groups online. But outside of that, there's no real avenue to have a proper public discussion in a way. But that's what the podcasters allow people to do, which is cool. So
Mm. All right, bro. Let's wrap this up. Thanks for coming on, and up the Knicks.
up the next.